Holidays, holy days, however you celebrate them, try to keep in the spirit of being present through your essence. You're being completely engaged with others, especially those you claim to love, not looking to take or see what you get from them as much as what in them sparks a remembrance, what in the other reminds you of that thread within you that you seek. Because ultimately, we're all seeking in search of ourselves. That collective theme that there is deep loss, something is missing. Buddy is going to town on his bully treat, so that's what the noise is in the background, in case you're wondering, because he's right there. So he didn't eat it all day. He waited for me to be home because for some reason he wanted to make sure I saw that he was happy about it. So that's a great example that there's this connection we have with one another, whether it be with animals, whether it be with other humans, whether it be in a situation, an experience, whatever it is a reconnecting, a remembering that thread that runs so deeply within each and every one of us, that the seeking in search of ourselves is always to remember. And when you break down the word remember, it is to which is connection, right? And member, we are all members, we are all one. We may seem to be individual, one, humans, but truly, we are all one from the same source. And that's the thread that runs through each and every one of us that keeps us connected. So when we think we're missing something, we're missing out, FOMO, we're lacking, can't put our fingers on it. It's that internal, etheric thread that keeps us all connected, not divided. The mental construct is what keeps us divided. The heartstrings are the threads that connect us all. That's the source that runs through us, thick and thin. The breath, the life force, the prana. Every breath you take is breathing in the Spirit of God, is taking in the life force energy, is bringing back that memory, because it's all cellular, it's in our auric body, it's in our magnetic field, it's in our hearts and souls. It's the spirit of who and what we came here as. We are all expressions of God. Recognize the other as you is to remember, reconnect to the other member of the source, the oneness, the truth, the wholeness of all of us. Because when we come together with one another, and at a deep, normally it's unconscious level, there's something in that other person that brings out the essence of who we are as we bring out the essence of who they are. They spark something within us. They get us to remember. We reconnect. Humans in unity equals humanity. When we come in community, that's common unity. Communal unity. Community is unity. Humans in unity. It's all reconnecting, remembering, reigniting the spark within each and every one of us. That common thread that we feel is missing on a deep level is not. It runs through each and every one of us. That is the collective consciousness. That is the wound. That when we come in and we've all been separated into these individual beings, that we seek to be whole again. And the wholeness is actually humanity coming back together and stopping this divide, this this disconnect that we are currently under a spell, that we are separate. So this is the paradox. So here we are as humans, living our human lives like you and me, two different people. But the truth is, we're all part of the oneness, the source, this greater than. And in this moment, we are experiencing individual expressions of God's source energy. So the common thread is we're all seeking ourselves. We're seeking out one another. We're seeking out ourselves in each other. But that's the part we forgot. Because when we were born into this existence, the slate was wiped clean. So when the slate was wiped clean, it meant I forgot that you are me and I am you. And that the common thread we have is to remember when we come together. That's why people come together to pray. Together is to be that collective source. Again, the more of us that come together in unity, the more the oneness is concentrated, the more powerful we are. That is why the spell is cast, to keep us from remembering to come together, and that our power is concentrated through thick and thin. We are more powerful together than we are as individuals. So unconsciously, as we seek, we search, we're looking for ourselves in all of life. The irony is these different themes have been sold across humanity, seeking out our soulmates, seeking out another person to complete us, to feel whole. When in reality, when we heal ourselves, we heal each other. That the trauma that we've all experienced from the moment we're born, that's the crying, that's the I've been disconnected from my source, but we haven't. The thread is still connected through each and every one of us. That's the common thread that connects us and that also senses the deep longing. But, the heartstrings, the thread, they all play the same music. The same music of we are one under the sun, come together right now under me. We can really glean the wisdom in this life when we start coming together to support each other. That we know my pain is your pain. That the collective pain is this grasping for the threads, grasping for the meaning, because of course most of us don't realize the meaning we seek outside of ourselves is really the meaning that's within us. And that often when we're seeking the meaning of life outside of ourselves, we're losing the meaning in our own lives. It's a crazy paradox, it really is. But the thing that we all forgot when we were born into this life is the common thread is each and every one of us. And that what we seek to make whole in ourselves is actually reconnecting, the rekindling of the spark within each and every one of us. It's within us all. It's not separate. To be whole is just to come back together and to remember, to concentrate the energy in groups. The more of us that come together, the more of us that healed ourselves, the more of us that remember in a common goal for reigniting and restoring this thread, the threads between us, the threads that bring us back into life. The more we heal humanity, the more we heal the collective. It's a collective collaboration to remember, to bring the energy back into source power. That's the thing they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know how powerful we are together. That's why there's always this divisiveness, right? Divided. We're divided. There's always something to pit us against each other. That is the biggest, that is the art of war. is keeping people at war with each other instead of seeing the common thread and what we have in common together. The one thing we have the most in common is the fact that we all seek each other. We just don't realize it. So in order to restore humanity and the collective, to heal collectively, is really to work on our own selves. And instead of seeking to point fingers out at others or to play the victim of the circumstances or of another, to really just, oh, I am the parent of my inner child. I can heal this, and when I heal it in me, it ripples out and others feel that too. The work you do for you, you do for me too. And the work I do for me, I do for you as well. But anything that you seek to do that's not in alignment with you and your heart and soul, that is when you harm yourself the most. That is when you inflict pain upon yourself. Whether it's mental, emotional, or physically out of alignment, because here's the thing, your mind is a mental construct. Everything you think is intellectual, is taught. But what is felt is the power, because the truth is in the feeling. So when we seek to do something that isn't aligned with mind, body, and spirit, and your soul overall, that misalignment, it shows in your body. And a great example, I teach this in my yoga. I say, listen, if your body is out of alignment and you're trying to compensate and you're offset, you're going to harm yourself. You're going to harm yourself because you're pushing a mental construct, a mental ideology versus a tapping into your body's wisdom. Your body is always telling on your mind. It's not always so kind in the mind, but the body will tell on it. It will ultimately, it is the tattletale. So when your body is out of alignment, it's because your mind's not in alignment. Because you're lying to yourself or you're trying to force something. And when you try to force something that's not in alignment, that's when you harm yourself. That's when you inflict your own self-harm, pain, trauma, even emotionally, mentally, and then the physical. So when we harm ourselves, the first question we should be asking is, where was my mind in the moment that I harmed myself? You cut your finger, what was I thinking at that moment? Because typically, this has been my experience, anytime I've accidentally, or so I thought it was accidental, inflicted harm upon my own being, my body, I stopped to think, what was my thought at that moment? And that's usually when I'm having a harmful thought that I end up inflicting pain upon myself. It's all connected. You can try to dismiss it, but the more you are tapped into it, tuned into your true essence, and notice the unconscious and subconscious thoughts, meditation, single-minded focus, the more you are present with what is going on below the surface, the more you will actually be aware, and you can slow down enough to go, whoa, that is not my truth. Ooh, that's an interesting thought. I wonder where that came from. You can inquire deeper. And that's the whole purpose, is because when you become aware of your thoughts, it's up to you to confront them, to lean into them, to question them, to have the conversation with yourself. When you have the conversations, the deep reflections in yourself, then people aren't going to be the ones to confront you, because you get to do the work for you. When other people confront you, that's the part that sucks. Nobody wants to be called out for your thoughts, conscious or unconscious. Most of the times people don't realize that the things that cause the most conflict are the things they're unwilling to sit with in meditation, but yet another person will call it out because you're not willing to call yourself out. So if you're not conscious of something, it's going to show up in your relationships. It's going to cause the conflicts in your life. But see, if you sit in meditation, if you're mindful enough to become present to the constant dialogue that goes on throughout your own mind, then you can be more present in your relationships and those conflicts won't arise. Because you'll be able to catch them rather than them catch you off guard, and then others calling you out for something you yourself could have confronted long before. That's doing the inner work consciously. Now, when you have the conflict with another, that's the unconscious way of handling situations. Those are more painful because, again, that's when you're not aligned. The mind is going on its own mental constructs and belief systems, and the patterns and beliefs and the behaviors, the stories you've been telling yourself, that is misaligned with the body, and it causes all of those confrontations and relationships. So when you have arguments and disagreements, it's the ego. It's the mind wanting to be right versus the heart wanting to be happy. Whereas if you sit in meditation, you slow it down long enough to confront what comes up when you're sitting in a mindful, single-minded focus is what meditation is. It eliminates the conflicts you could end up running into with other people. The more you do that, the less you'll have conflicts with others. See, that's mindfulness. That's being an awareness of your own mind, your thoughts, your patterns, your beliefs, your stories. Whereas, again, when you're going out into the world and you're unconscious of all that stuff, other people end up showing up to be your teachers rather than you taking the reins and controlling your own life. See, this is what I always talk about, where if you can slow down the breath, you master your breath, you slow down long enough to be in awareness of your mind, you can master your mind, because then you're in awareness of the thoughts that are running on autopilot behind the scene. And once you've mastered your mind, whoa, you can master your life, and then you can master the domain of your life, right? Many merry blessings to you, Carl. But that's what life is about, is not getting caught off guard, not being called out by others, but doing it yourself. That's a lot of times people don't want to do that. They don't like it. But they're even more upset when other people do it for them or to them, because nobody wants to be called out. The ego really hates it when other people point fingers at them rather than looking at it through the mirror. That's the easier way to do it in some ways, but for some people that's a harder way. So sometimes you need the adversary, the catalyst that shows up to you. But remember, don't shoot the person who is serving you up the silver platter of a mirror saying, hey, here's your shit. You didn't want to own it in a meditation. You rather have an experience with another person, because those are the two ways you can do your healing. Do it on your own consciously, or you can allow the energy of drawing in someone who's going to be the catalyst for that. And so when we're in these holiday times, we're going to be around lots of people, and people trigger us. But that's the part I implore each and every one of you to do, is to be present. Because again, the common thread we all have within us is this need to be whole. This feeling that we lack, something's missing, but it's only the other that we seek. The other is us. Recognize the other is you. And recognize that God is in all, because if you can't recognize God in all, then you can't recognize God at all. And if that means God is in all, that means God is in the other, God is in you. That reflection of the other is God looking and staring right back at you, whether you're looking in the mirror or at another human. And so when you can take those small little nuggets of wisdom, the sweet nectar of truth, and apply that to the holidays, and instead of allowing people to trigger you, take you out of your peace, draw them into your peace. Look at them. Aside from the gifts and all the food and the festivities, can you truly be present with another person to the point where you really see the spark within them that shows back at you who you are? What is it you admire? What is it you dislike? All of those are part of you too. Hold on one second. Buddy, calm down, honey. He's going to town. He's loving his bully. He wouldn't touch it until I got on the video. It's just this is real life. We can get upset Or we can look and say, wow, he was so cute. He was so sweet. He wanted me to acknowledge that he wanted to eat the bully in front of me, to say, look, Mom, I love this. I love when you give this to me. He doesn't like to eat things unless I'm around. He doesn't eat when I'm gone. It's actually funny, but it's sweet, because he wants me to see how much he appreciates it. And then he comes over and nudges me and says, hey, that was really good. Thank you, Mom. Can you really truly be in your full essence with your presence, the gift for another, and allow them to be the gift? Allow them to show up to you, because when you show up to them, you're giving them permission too. That this time is really about honoring each other, holding sacred space, being the lighthouse, being the beacon, the gift, the giver and the receiver. It should not be one-sided. Energy's meant to stay in motion. And we humans, sometimes we get stuck and we get stagnant. And that's, again, the physical body will reflect all of that. So when you're out of alignment in your body, all that's showing you is the misalignment with the mind. It's very simple, but it's elusive for so many people. Because if you're not tapped into your body's wisdom, then you're out of your mind. Because this is the thing, another theme in the collective is that many are trying to escape and deny what is so in their face. You can't even hide it anymore. You can't deny the pain, the trauma that is residing in the overall collective. The theme, it's playing out in the world stage right now. It is each and every one of our collective trauma magnified. Our fears, our worries, our shames, our guilts, our need to prove ourselves, our need to be seen, to be heard, to accept, to be accepted, to not reject, to belong to something. All of this, it's for each and every one of us to heal within ourselves, because when we heal that within ourselves, that heals it all. To not get caught up in the lies and this divisiveness, this pitting each other against one another based on teams, team this, team that, for this, against that. It's duality, baby, and duality is the biggest trap. You got to choose that, you're going against this. You choose this, you go against that. That doesn't serve humanity. That just serves a big agenda. Because if you're having to pick a side, then that's a harm against yourself. You break your own heart. If you have to choose a side, then you yourself are not being whole. Again, this is the fragmentation of humans. When you choose this or that, you have been caught with the trap. The trap is this or that, they're two parts of the same whole. When you choose the middle way, you can be neutral in the face of adversity, because there's always going to be a challenge in life. There's always going to be this, can you choose a side bullshit. This or that is to keep you from staying the path, staying neutral, walking the middle way. That is what the teachers, all the gurus, all of them spoke about. Staying the middle way, staying on that middle path, staying neutral. Staying neutral in the face of the adversity, which is the duality of this or that. Anything that polarizes you keeps you from being whole. It fragments you. Humans are meant to be whole. That means honoring your light and your dark, not dismissing it because it doesn't feel good. See, we humans think we have to choose only what feels good, when in reality, we don't have to feel good. We have to be good at feeling. The key is in really being okay with whatever you feel, not just choosing what feels right at the moment. Because a lot of times the feeling right is actually an ego-based thought. It's, again, a mental construct. It's not always what you feel. See, that's how out of touch people are with the human bodies. Their physical senses, their five senses and intuition. Some people will say, well, I feel this. Do you feel it or you think it? Because there's a huge difference. An emotion is often more associated with a thought than it is with a feeling. It registers in the body because it doesn't align with the body. That's what a feeling that's out of whack is all about. Again, it's about alignment. When you tap into your body's wisdom, your true body's wisdom, you'll start to notice that the emotions you feel are typically just a disconnect between the body and the mind. And the body feeling and registering it is telling you it doesn't align with your heart and soul. That your head is the one creating the story and the trigger. And so it creates this story around an emotion, and then the only reason it registers in the body is because it's misaligned. And that's when it lodges and it creates the dis-ease, the pains, the traumas, the stuck energy that is meant to stay in motion. Emotions are like waves of the ocean. They're mostly fluid and they're not supposed to stay stuck. They're supposed to move through your body, just like the spirit, the breath, the life force. Deep breaths, prana, cleansing, clearing, getting out in nature, moving your body. If you feel emotions in your physical body, you feel something stirring up, get outside and move your body. It's the best way to shift it up, shake it out, and break it up. Because most of us are holding on to things that don't belong to us. And it's usually based on a thought, it's based on a story. And we have so hard of a time letting go. We can't get past the stories that really are what keep us divided, that keep us from being whole in ourselves and in communion with one another. So when you have a trigger, you are holding a resentment, a grudge, a judgment against another person, that's a judgment against yourself. That's a self-inflicted pain, again, causing your trauma, causing the stories, creating the disconnect, the lack, the thread of what's missing, the fragmentation of your being. I hope this is really landing for many of you, whoever's hearing this video. This is a powerful theme. It's a powerful way of looking at things. It sounds like, what? Maybe you get it, maybe you don't, and that's okay. Maybe listen to this again. Let me know in the comments. What about this resonates with you? Does it make sense? Do you feel it in your body? Can you see that we all have the common thread of this disconnect, this feeling like there's a lingering loss from the moment we're born? We know we came from source. We know we were taken from the womb. That knowing how connected we were. And that when we come out into this earth, we're like, what the heck? I am like this gooey, ooey being. It feels like I'm not connected to the big, pie in the sky. And then how do I get back there? And I'm searching and seeking and trying to communicate and express myself in this new place that I have forgotten where I even came from, but I know, I feel it, I sense it. I got to get back to it, because that's part of this game, this human life existence, is that we are constantly seeking and searching to be whole again in that space. When in this existence, we're so spread out in these individual expressions of God, we can't even see the God in each other, because we think it's up somewhere else. So instead of seeing it in each other, we're seeking all around. I mean, we have this idea that, oh, there's a soulmate, there's a soulmate, a twin flame. Like, we got all these buzzwords that are another man-made construct. The truth is, we're all each other's mate, are members of the oneness, the wholeness, the source. We all came from the same place. We incarnated in this life so we can remember and reconnect. And instead of remembering, we've gotten so ripped out of it, so confused because man has come up with some really crazy stories to keep us distracted from recognizing you and I are God and one. And that the more we come together in commonality and common unity, humans in unity, the more we concentrate the humanity in wholeness and knowing that you are me and I am you and we are God's source together, the more we actually can heal this existence. But that's part of the game of this life, is to remember how to get back to the wholeness, to instead of be fragmented because we all have something to heal, that we are actually all right and we are going to be okay. Divine, we are all divine, of the common thread. Divine, D meaning of, vine, the thread. We all are connected etherically by heart and soul. And this is the common thread that runs throughout each and every one of us. So when you feel you're lingering in loss, seeking and searching yourself, remember to look in the eyes of the other, whoever you're with, and look for that same glimmer, that spark that is within you, within them within you, within them. Because that's what reconnects us. That is what allows us to remember, to bring that energy back to source. That is my mission. That is my vision. That more people wake up to this, because it is a beautiful fact. And that's what we came here to remember. Who, what, when, where, how, all of it is about the oneness, the God in all. And we're individual expressions of God. So we need to come back together and stop allowing this craziness to take us out of our peace. It's time for us to come back as a peace, as the powerful peace. Not so difficult when you make the intention, set the intention to jump back in and reconnect. So on that note, I'm going to share. So I got a new ring today. And you know I love Larimar. This is my number 3. So this is number 3. And this is Peruvian Opal, because I love my stones. And I love high vibe stones. I don't know if any of you all out there are into high vibe stones. This is Libyan Tektite. Libyan golden Tektite. Golden. It's beautiful. And then up above it is Ethiopian Opal as well. And this is Peruvian Opal. Looks similar, a little bit like the Larimar, but it's quite different. These are Moldavite. I'm sorry, these are Morganite, not Moldavite. This is very soft, pink stone, so pretty. And I just love my stones, so much so that I even have the book of stones, because I have a lot of high vibe stones. And I am all about reading all the details. So maybe I should do a video on stones one day. I have way too many stones to just do. I'd have to do a stone on each video just to talk about them. But what I will bring up, a lot of people don't know about opal and the power of the opal. Just like pearls are pearls of wisdom, no coincidence there. Let's see. Let's see if I can get there. Larimar is my ultimate, though. I mean, if you have ever been around me, I've had this one. I've had these two. This one and this one for so long. I don't even know how long I've had them. And they're my signature pieces. They're a part of me. Like, I don't go anywhere without them. So, okay, baby boo, you are making some serious noise over there. Opal's become one of my, seems to be, I'm drawn to it quite a bit. It doesn't have it in here. I had to have to look it up online. Well, it doesn't have the Ethiopian opal in here, but, or the Peruvian opal. You know he loves his bully sticks. I don't know how loud that sounds on here, but hopefully it doesn't mess up the video. And hopefully you glean some really beautiful wisdom from this particular talk tonight, because it's really important that we're really present with people, because there are just so many people suffering and struggling during the holidays, and we don't know what anybody's going through. And the truth of the matter is that, you know, there are people who, you know, memories come up. What happens during the holidays? People remember the people they spent them with over the past in their lives. And when someone is gone and they're no longer there, it becomes the melancholy. And so instead of enjoying and celebrating, people get sad and forget that this is a time to come together with those you love and appreciate who is still with you and who you do love. And so holidays are really, I don't care if you like them or you don't. The truth is you should be enjoying the presence of the people you're with and really sharing of your essence. Like, don't go into the doom and the gloom. We got plenty of that. Thank you. I'm sending you the same. I appreciate you. So, you know, these are the, oh, here's Morganite. So I have these Morganite, I know you can hear them in the background. Morganite is the pink stone, and it is this stone of divine love and compassion. It's in the water element, and it represents the heart. So Morganite is actually named after, I think, J.P. Morgan. It's pink. It comes in peach or purple, pink variety. It's a beryl or beryllium aluminum silicate mineral. And it says it was first mined in Madagascar in 1902. The colors caused by manganese. It was named after J.P. Morgan. They come from Brazil, Madagascar, Africa, and here in the United States. I believe up in New York as well. A rose quartz is the great energizer of personal love and self-love. Morganite is attuned most clearly to the frequency of divine light, divine love. Yes, I'm wearing my Larimar rings. I got a new one tonight, this one. So Morganite opens the heart on another level, making us aware of the huge ocean of cosmic love within which we all exist. Morganite gives us the opportunity to surrender to the immense power of divine love and let it show us our life path more clearly. Morganite can bring an immediate release of old pains and sorrow and a sense of lightness, as though a burden has been lifted. It can make the healing of old wounds easier, bringing long-forgotten traumas into consciousness, where one can relive them one last time as they are being released. Morganite brings in the frequency of divine compassion, which gives us what we most need for our growth, if not always what we think we want. It's recommended to those who wish to do serious inner work and emotional self-healing. Not only can it cleanse and activate the heart, bringing it into harmony with the divine plan, it can also awaken us to the awareness that all of our life, suffering, pain, serve the higher purpose of our spiritual growth. And with this awareness comes the inner surrender, which releases us from the pain to which we have been unconsciously clinging. How perfectly aligned is that? Get yourself some Morganite if you're trying to do this work. It says it's especially, it brings a sense of peace, joy, and inner strength expressed in the most gentle and loving fashion. When one keeps Morganite on one's person for extended periods of time, there is a growth of confidence and power that comes from being constantly aware of one's connection to divine love. One feels as though one is a conduit for that love to flow into the world through all one's interactions and relationships. I believe these will be my signature earrings for quite a while here, since I just got these. These are really stunning. These are gorgeous. So, and I never really was a big silver setting type. I love gold. I'm a gold girl, first off. But, you know, this Libyan Tektite and this Ethiopian Opal have like these golden hues to them too. And I'm just thrilled with these pieces. That's all I'm saying. So it also says, Morganite harmonizes with other heart chakra stones like the rose quartz, the rhodochrosite, rhodonite, emerald, pink and green tourmalines, as well as phenacite, dambarite, pedalite, and azestulite. Those are other high valued stones too, by the way. So that's Morganite. The other one I wanted to read up on here. This is the Libyan gold Tektite. Okay. This is this big piece here. And I have two just regular pieces that are not in facets, but these are all faceted in my necklaces. So I was trying to keep this just a little bit above. I just am really thrilled with these pieces. So the key words for the Libyan gold Tektite are confidence, mental acuity, psychic protection, access to the Akashic records, manifestation, realization of personal potential. It's a firestorm element. It also balances all the chakras, and it's especially for the solar plexus chakra, and sexual and creative second chakra. So this is actually considered, this one here. It's similar in composition to moldavite and other tektites because those are the otherworldly stones. They're meteorites, essentially. It's a glassy yellow material with a hardness of 5 to 6. Its amorphous crystal system is found in the Sahara Desert of Libya and Egypt. It's also known by the name Libyan desert glass. Scientists are unsure of its origin or of the material, and some doubt that it can be. Some say that they doubt it's classified as a tektite, although it is found in the same areas which meteorites have been discovered. So these stones have been prized for making carvings and jewelries for centuries. In ancient Egypt, the funerary necklace of King Tut had as its centerpiece carved a scarab made from the Libyan gold tektite. As with all ceremonial pieces, this necklace was believed to be imbued with supernatural powers which conveyed to the wearer even after death. Didn't know that. You learn something every day, isn't it beautiful? So Libyan gold tektites carry remarkable energies for enhancing the strength of one's will, one's ability to create, and the power of manifestation. Like other stones such as Moldavite and Tibetan tektite, they carry extraordinary energies, perhaps due to the tremendous forces involved in their formation in meteor crash explosions. Whatever the reason for their intensity, it is not surprising that they were used as a centerpiece in the necklace of this Egyptian king. These stones emanate the kind of mystic power associated with the god kings of old, and they can facilitate the awakening of the inner king or queen in oneself as well. I'll own that. Those who work with the retrieval of ancient knowledge may find Libyan gold tektites to be powerful access keys to the Akashic records, and these stones can aid those wishing to recover the ties to the early Egyptian civilizations to the influence of extraterrestrial entities. They can link one with the energies of Isis and Osiris, the mythical figures said to have given the humankind the remarkable energy boost which gave rise to civilization. The energies of the Sirius star system also seem to be connected with these stones. Those wishing to make interdimensional journeys there into higher vibrational realms can use the stones to get on the proper beam. Meditation and personal ritual performed with the Libyan tektite will be strongly enhanced, particularly if one's goal is to actualize some outcome in the material world. Ooh, yes, I know. I work with a lot of stones, and I knew this was going to be a powerful piece, because this one, like, seriously, when I put this on, I said, I'll take this off. I'm not driving. That's how powerful this is. If one feels within the self the call to be more than one has been up to now, the feeling that one has yet to realize one's full potential, working with these stones is highly recommended. It says combining them with moldavite is ideal for the achievement of self-transformation to one's highest calling. Adding Tibetan tektite to the Libyan gold tektite will greatly speed the process of a manifestation of one's goals. Using all three together can facilitate the most rapid transformation possible under the guidance of one's higher will. Another specialized application is to combine it with yellow sapphire for the manifestation of prosperity. Both stones combine The pure gold ray of manifestation in yellow sapphire has long been regarded in the Hindu tradition as a stone of financial abundance. If one is working towards such outcomes, adding phenacite to the mix is another way of strengthening the bringing into form of the visualized goal. Yeah, I've got that stone too. I've got phenacite, danbarite. I've got a lot of high vibe stones. I've got moldavites like crazy. So this is like seriously powerful and it's really good. So here's some other things that it's good for. It stimulates all of the systems of the body, but it's particularly helpful in aiding digestion, metabolism, and the endocrine system. It activates all chakras, bringing the golden ray of illumination into the energy field. It is especially helpful for those with sluggish second and third chakras. It can aid one in standing one's ground or stating one's mind when clear boundaries are called for. It stimulates the mind and assists with gaining deep insight into the origins and resolution of situations in one's life. Libyan gold tektite can help shy persons come out of their shells. It can assist one in overcoming fears of social situations, feelings of inadequacy or antisocial behavior. It stimulates the active aspect of the energy field, bringing a vitalizing frequency into the emotional body. It stimulates feelings of happiness, curiosity, willingness, and playfulness. It is an excellent stone for those who take themselves or life too seriously. This ally can be of assistance in learning situations. It helps to stimulate and sharpen one's mental abilities. It's excellent for strengthening the solar plexus chakra and preventing psychic backwash from being drawn into this area. It's a protective for kinesthetic individuals who tend to operate on gut instinct. That'd be me. It can be used by healers to prevent the crossover of imbalance from a client's energy field to their own, and for those who feel sick to their stomachs in confrontational situations. It can help strengthen one's energy field, preventing others from invading the solar plexus and stealing one's will's energy. It carries a spiritual, strong, energizing frequency of its meteoric birth, activates one's creative energies. It's a powerful teacher of boundaries, the right use of power, and surrender to divine will. It also helps overly shy, reclusive individuals to be more outgoing and social. It helps cultivate a more playful and creative approach to life. On the physical side, it's a healer of stomach and digestive issues, including ulcers, IBS, nausea, excessive stomach acid, and improper absorption of nutrients in the bowels, especially if those symptoms are created by or aggravated by stress. In the affirmation for this one is, I claim my rightful personal power, drawing on my recalled knowledge and wisdom gained through many lives, and I use it to manifest the highest good. So that's enough of the stones, but that's just a little bit of insight into Libyan tektite. So Libyan gold, or golden tektite is another word. So that's that. The other really cool thing, I wanted to share this with you. So I had a student come into class today, and they were so sweet. They brought in this gorgeous bouquet, and they apparently brought something in for all the teachers. It's on a sweet little sleigh. Isn't that the sweetest bouquet? Like, I mean, these are all painted silver, roses. I'm gonna have to put a little bit of water. It's one of those wet squares, but oh my gosh, that totally made my day. Every once in a while, I get someone totally surprises me like that. So this thing's heavy, and I don't know what it is. And this is so cute. Look at this, the peanuts on here. It's such a whimsical, playful wrapping paper. He was so sweet and started to say, if you don't like it, it's okay. I said, oh my gosh, just the fact that you thought of me, I thought was really sweet. And of course, I'm not the person who likes to rip up all the paper. Because it's just really cute. It was, it's the little things. It's the thought that counts. And sometimes you think, I personally, the only thing about the holidays I dislike is the obligatory exchanging of gifts, the need to prove yourself that you like someone or that you love them by giving them a gift. To me, it's very deceptive and wrong. And I don't like teaching children this idea that because it's the holidays, you have to give a gift or you have to spend money or For me, in my family, like my dad and I, we went out for dinner at a Thai food place. Because that's what we do for the day before Christmas, right? And all honesty, I don't like giving gifts during obligatory times. I give gifts all year round. I like to be spontaneous. I believe in the, I was thinking of you, here's a beautiful gift. Or birthdays, I do like to give gifts too, because to me, I like to celebrate the individual who's been born. Unless I don't like you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to give you a gift if I don't like you anyway, though. I mean, that's just a given. You're probably not in my life if that's the case either. Little truth. I wish people would be more honest. You know, when people tell you their truth, thank them. They save you the trouble of like living a lie. I think more people need to be more honest with their truth instead of trying to fake the funk. It's okay if you're not trying to hurt some, you know, when you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, it's one thing, but sometimes you actually end up prolonging something that doesn't need to be prolonged. Wow, this is a big box of something. 'Twas the night before Christmas, just for you. Aw. It's a gift box. It's huge. It's got a handle and everything. Oh my goodness. Like, look at this. 'Twas the night before Christmas. It's heavy. I don't know what's in it, but it's cool. I mean, the detail and the attention and just the fact that he brought that in was just like, wow. Oh my goodness. This is freaking awesome. Oh, I have this book. He brought me the cards, The Untethered Soul. Oh, I'm absolutely loving this. What's he talking about? I might not. Oh my God. Oh, he remembered something I said in class one day. This is so freaking sweet. Lana, Merry Christmas. Wishing you peace, joy, and happiness. Thank you for all your help and for being a wonderful teacher on my Kundalini journey. Dominic. With each bright joy, with each warm tradition, with each memorable moment, may you know the wonder of Christmas. What a beautiful card. What a sweet gift. Oh my gosh. This man, like, talk about having a heart and being so generous and vulnerable enough to just, I mean, that warms my heart. So this is awesome because I definitely need one of these. This is one of those materials that you put down on the yoga mat. I have one of these. It also has a bag that comes with it, but it has the little stickies so that you put it on your mat if you do hot yoga especially. This is so pretty. He's got good taste. So that's all I'm going to say. This is colorful, gorgeous. This box is freaking awesome. And see, this is what he got me. He heard me when I said I used to live in Italy because he's Italian too. He brought me a 2016 Cantina di Montalcino, Brunello di Montalcino. He brought me a Brunello. Now, when I was big on my wine drinking, Brunello di Montalcino is a really good wine. And this is 2016. So we're in 2021. It can still age well over the next couple years. I'm not in a rush to drink this. This is a good bottle of wine. So it's a Doc G too, by the way. He didn't spare anything. I'm just saying. That's freaking beautiful. We have entrusted our vineyard to the generosity of this land, its climates and history, and the rural culture of Montalcino. This wine is made from the Sangiovese grapes in keeping with the historic production code. Intense purple red in color with red fruit aromas on the nose. This wine in the mouth is rich and long-lasting. By the way, when you know a good wine, you know a good wine. And that just made my day. Even if I don't drink it. But freaking Doc G. I mean, that's not sparing. Like, this is a beautiful gift. And he was worried I wouldn't like it? Are you kidding me? Wow. I'm just impressed. That just made my day. What a sweetheart. I'm grateful. I'm very grateful because he's a beautiful man and he shared some of his journey with me since he's been doing the Kundalini yoga and he, you know, his journals, and I just really appreciate that because we're seeing more and more men come into the studio to do Kundalini yoga, and that warms my heart. That's absolutely beautiful. And it is not a practice for the weak of heart. And so it just, you know what? Thank God for beautiful people to let me see them and to witness their journey and to be a part of it. You know, I always thank everybody who comes to class, because when people show up to the class, it is showing their dedication for themselves. And when they do the work for them, it's doing the work for everybody who can't show up. And again, when you come in unity, you come into the community spaces and groups, we are that much more powerful. And that when we're doing the work, setting the intention as a group, as a collective, that is rippling out into the world. No group is too small. It is definitely powerful. So I wish you all the most merriest blessings, however you are spending tomorrow. I will be spending it with my dad, enjoying the time with him, my doggie, just being in gratitude with my Morganite, my Peruvian Opal, my third new Larimar ring. I love this. It's got a different faceting on the sides. And, you know, all of my rings have images in them. Like, seriously, this one has Mother Mary in it. I mean, there's just, I've done that in other videos, but yeah. And then this Tektite and this Ethiopian Opal. Ugh. If you are in the Clearwater, Palm Harbor area, you have to go to Serenity now until next Wednesday. They have all these pieces, and I'm telling you, Digby's got some amazingly, just incredible, some of the stuff he finds. And even Serenity now, they find some amazing pieces that, like I said, I mean, I've actually everything I've ever, not everything, but a lot of pieces that I buy have come from that shop. It's a metaphysical bookstore. You can get candles there and incense and sage and books, and they're just amazing people. Good heart. Like, we're all big kids, you know. We were talking about it tonight. I said, the inner child in me honors the inner child in you. Let's play, because that's how we are. And I think that's beautiful. And we need more of that in the world. It's time to let your inner child back out. We were children, and we were closest to source, and we were wiped clean and reprogrammed. Now we're trying to remember. We're peeling back those layers to reveal our true essence of our presence, the connection to source, the thread that connects us all. And when we play, that brings it out that much more. When we drop all the seriousness, surrender, and we trust in the feeling of our heart and soul, that is what connects us that much more to be whole. So many blessings. I love you so much. Tap in, tune in. Remember to hit the notification bell. Make sure you've subscribed so that you see when I go live again. And please, in the comments, like, share, whatever lights your heart up, and whatever you want to hear about in my next videos, let me know. Lots of love. I love you. Sweet dreams.